Okay guys, so for this rig, we're going to need some rig glue, or I just use standard super glue. You need a couple of knot protectors, a couple of SRT springs, a 100-pound break and strain swivel. You're going to need a smaller snood swivel with a snood clip, I think you get them from Gemini, and then a cascade swivel with a snood clip attached to the bottom. 2 hooks, an imp. Yeah, you can use whatever release clip you want really, but I always find imps are the best. Always go back to the imp. 6 5mm beads and a piece of rig tubing. Use ASSO Ultraflex rig body, £60, some Oblivion snood line, that's from ASSO as well, or you can use the fluorocarbon, some power gum from Drennan. Okay, so first things first, we need to take about 5 foot of your rig body. I'm using the ASSO Ultraflex, it's £60, break and strain. It's really good line, low stretch, extra strong, very supple. That's what it says on there, and to be quite honest, it's a really good line, so I just use that. So about 5 foot. Just going to measure it out. That's about 5 foot for me, and just snip it at a slight angle because it makes it a bit easier to put the components on. And on the top end of that, if you just tie your 100-pound break and strain swivel, start off any knot you like, whatever you're comfortable with. Just wet the line on that one, put it tight. That's going nowhere. Snip the tag end. You should end up with something like that. Over that, slide one of your knot protectors. Bring it right up to the swivel, and what you can do on that, just put a little dab of glue on the knot, don't need much. Pull the knot protector over the knot, the first side of the swivel, and up onto the barrel. Make sure it looks nice and straight so it keeps tidy. And you end up with that well protected knot. Let that dry off, and that's going nowhere, that'll just stay there. That's the first part done. Then onto that, I'm going to slide one bead, tiny holes on these beads, one bead, then your snood swivel with your Gemini snood clip. So just go through the swivel. Another bead. SRT spring. Then one more bead. Then another bead. Then you need your cascade swivel with the little L bit pointing downwards and a Gemini snood clip attached to the bottom. So you need to go on through the top eye, down through there like that, so it's hanging down like that. Another bead. Second SRT spring. Then the final bead. Then you need to put another knot protector, narrow in first so the big end's pointing downwards. Then finally your imp. What I might do with this actually, I might put another swivel on that. Just clip a swivel to the top so it can turn freely. Then again, whatever knot you like to use. Bit of lube. Pull that nice and tight. You see that ASSO line? There's no line burn in that whatsoever. Every time. Really good stuff. Clip the tag end off. And you've got a nice neat knot. Do the same as you did with the first knot. Just a small dab of rig glue on the knot. Not too much, just one little dab. And then pull the knot protector down. Again, over the first eye. Slightly over the barrel. Just fit snug over there. And that's that one done. I'm just going to clip that up now in my little rig jig. Right, put your lid back on your glue, soon dries out otherwise. So that's the first step done. I'll show you the different sections we've done so far. So the top section, you got the swivel, the knot protector, goes down to a bead, then the second swivel, the snood swivel with the Gemini clip attached, another bead, SRT spring, and final bead. The second section is a bead, the cascade swivel with a Gemini link clip attached, a second bead, SRT spring, and a final bead. Okay, so the next thing we're going to do, we're going to take your power gum, Drennon power gum I'm using, 14 pound. You need to take a section of that, I'd say about 5 inches of that, cut that, so you got a section of your power gum, and we're going to tie some stop knots now, because I don't like to use crimps. Don't like to put any unnecessary strain, or, you know, I don't want to damage the line. So all you do with this is just run it along run it along your main line, make a loop, then you need to go through the loop 3 or 4 times. When you've done that, pull it nice and tight from both ends so it all calls up together. You should be left with that. Snip both tag ends off, leave just a little tag again. So that's in place of the crimps, just another dab of glue, or you actually don't put glue on that one, leave them, because they're adjustable then, so they won't go anywhere. So you need to do that for each side, the beads and the springs. Okay, so next step, repeat the stop knots at the top end of the top set of beads and springs, and at the bottom end, and the same at the top end and the bottom end of this set of components. When you've got all the stop knots in place, you need to position it so one set is near to the top, just by sliding the stop knots, and one's around about halfway down, just so you get equal snood lengths when it's all clipped up. The next step is to attach the snoods. There's a couple of choices I've got. I've got the memory-free line from ASSO again. Really good stuff. It's what I use on most of my rigs. Or there's the option of fluorocarbon, which is why I've attached the snood clips, because with fluorocarbon you'll find it damages quite easy. Although it's supposed to be better, a lot of match fishermen use fluorocarbon. It's supposed to be like invisible underwater. It does damage quite easily, so I don't really want to have to make a new rig every time when I can just use the clips with my snood line attached to the bottom, and I can just unclip it and put a new length of snood line on, which is why these are adjustable. So if it's a slightly different size each time, you can just move this up and down to compensate. But today I think I'm going to use the memory-free line. So for this, just pull off the end of the line, and we're going to attach it to the bottom eye of the snood clip. Again, any knot you like to use. Nice and tight. Snip the tag end. Again, this ASSO line, even without lubricating, there's actually 0 line burn on that. Really good to measure it down. So you need to measure to your second or your cascade swivel. Just cut it to pretty much level with the cascade swivel. Then by the time you tied your knot, it should just about be the right length. So when you've cut your snood line off at the bottom. They're going to slide on just a small sliver of rig tubing. And that's just going to act as a stop knot. So just go through the rig tubing once, make a loop, and go back through. And then just pull that tight, and then the stop knot should turn in on itself, and that can slide up and down now. Just a little stop knot. You can put another little bead on there. I might actually do that, just a small bead. Just a loomy bead I'm going to go through on there, and that'll just stop any lugworm sliding up the line off the hook. And then on the end of that, tie a hook. Snip off the tag end. That's what you're left with. Okay, next we're going to repeat that process for the Cascade swivel snood clip onto the bottom of that one. Tie a knot. Snip off the tag end. Then measure down to your imp or whatever bait release clip you're using, and you want to be about an inch shorter, never longer, because it won't clip up. And then another piece of rig tubing. Slide that on and make another stop knot. Another bead, just to help stop the lug sliding up the line. And your final hook. That's all the components tied now. So all that's left to do now is to adjust your snood lengths to make sure it all clips up. You do that by moving the stop knots up and down on each one. So start at the bottom, clip the hook up into your imp or whatever bait clip you're using. So clip that all up, pull it taut. You'll see that one's pretty much spot on. When it's slightly tightened on the spring, but not pulled right down, so just a little bit of tension on that top spring, the bottom spring, and then adjust your stop knots. That'll stay there. So when that one's done, clip that in. So that's the length on the bottom one. Then you need to take the top one, top snood. You see we're a lot short at the moment, so we need to move it down just by sliding the stop knots till you reach the desired length. Just adjust it until you can clip up into that cascade swivel, which is about there. I'm going to tighten it up just by adjusting these stop knots on the top, just so we get a little bit of tension on the spring. Now there's a little bit of tension on that top spring, so I can bring this stop knot down. So now I've got a little bit of tension on the top spring, clipped up into the cascade swivel, a little bit of tension on the bottom spring, and clipped in to the imp at the bottom. So I know that's bang on. So now you can, if you want to keep that in place, just put a dab of glue on the stop knots. It shouldn't move too much anyway, but as I say, I like to keep them without glue on. So if I do have to unclip these snoods, if they get damaged or tangles with little wheels or something, rather than replace the whole rig, I can just unclip these snoods, put a new length of snood on, then adjust the stop knots again to make sure it all clips round. That's that rig completed. I'll just hang that and show you it with a lead on. Okay, from the top down, we've got the swivel and the knot protector. It's down to the first set of beads, SRT springs, swivels and clips with the stop knots. Then in turn goes down to the second set. Try and show that clipped up. So yeah, that's clipped up to the cascade swivel. And we go down to the bottom where the lead is, and that's clipped up to the imp on the bottom. So when the imp hits the water, the bottom spring releases and the top spring releases. So everyone has their go-to rigs as soon as they get to the beach. The first one they like to get out and set up. This is pretty much mine, one I'll get out first every time. Set it up, a couple of lug on, tip with squid or something, chuck that one out, and then get everything else set up. So yeah, guys, thanks for watching. Hope you enjoyed it. If you did, please remember to leave a like and subscribe, and I'll see you on the next one.